ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. 9ನೇ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಸಿನಿಮೋತ್ಸವಕ್ಕೆ ಆದರದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. Good afternoon to everybody. I welcome you all to 9th Bengaluru International Film Festival. We have today a special guest, renowned director of Tamil film industry, Mr. Vetrimaaran. I welcome you, sir. Kindly occupy the seat here. I also request Mr. Rajendra Singh Babu to occupy the seat. Chairman, Karnataka Chanchitra Academy. I request Babu sir to felicitate Mr. Maaran. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of 9th Biffes.
Not take much of your time because we have very short time. In fact, we had planned originally at the evening, but Mr. Vetrimaaran has to go back to Chennai today. This will be a interactive session. What Mr. Vetrimaaran has told me is that it will be an interactive session, but anyway, I will request him to say a few words in the last 2 years. And in fact, I saw his film at Venice, and I was just telling him, the kind of the modern cinema which makes how a soft reality and hard reality, and how Vetrimaaran has got that, captured that hard reality of this country in a very, very interesting and challenging way. And I want him to speak a few words about his journey in the last years. I know he has gone places, what we call as gone places in last 2-3 years. He'll just give a brief on that, and then it is open to you. And please restrict your questions specifically. Don't make it personal. I know it is a temptation. We always have a successful director around us. It tends to become, how we would become Vetrimaaran. That question will always be there. But please avoid such questions. Please be very specific in your questions, and make this a very useful, educative session, because he has really done something extraordinary in last 2-3 years for this country and for the film of this country. Thank you, Mr. Vetrimaaran, for taking time to be here. Please.
Thank you for inviting me to do an interactive session. I would always keep it that way. Because the first time from your festival, they called me and asked me to do a master class. I said, I'm not doing it. Then they said an interactive session. I thought this sounds more, easier to digest. So I always prefer to have it as an interactive session, because I still don't understand films as much as to do a master class. So an interactive session is always helpful to learn both ways. One thing that I've felt in the past few years is, for a filmmaker, filmmaking is more than art and more than craft. It's a personal journey, a journey where with every film he is given an opportunity to either be a better person or a worse person from where he was previously. So every film, every day, in the process of making a film, that test is there, and how we grow with every film matters more than the films that we make. That's something that I've felt and I've realized, and I don't have anything much to say. If you all have anything to ask, you can ask, and from there we can take it forward. Can someone get the mic through? Okay. No, I think we'll have two people here. One person should be here.
I can say a great success for your success stories, and you have been spoken in Amsterdam, France, Spain. What is the real success of your 3 years history in your career?
3 years in the sense, like you're talking about
ஆமாம், இந்த பழைய அந்த 3 வருஷம் எல்லாரும் பேசுகிறாங்க, ತುಂಬ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Okay.
ಏನು ಈ ಥರ ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೇಗ ಇಷ್ಟು 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 ಸಕ್ಸஸ் ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ என்ன வாட் இஸ் ஆட்டிடியூட் அதுதான் கேட்குறாங்க என்ன ஆட்டிடியூட் வாட் இஸ் சீக்ரெசி ஆஃப் தட்
Nobody knows anything about it.
Yeah, but that is...
Frankly speaking, Visaranai is a film that surprised me a lot.
Yeah.
Because when I started making the film, Jacob here knows about it. Jacob, my friend who's making films in Kannada also knows about it. And I didn't have a script. I read a novel, and the first half of the film is based on that novel, Lockup. And then the second half, I didn't write. I went to the sets and I started shooting it. So I really don't know how I made that film. I feel that it was more like I was a medium for the film to happen. And so many shots in the film, I didn't know it was in my repertoire until I completed the shot. Until I executed the shot, and I didn't know that I had that shot in me. So it was a very organic and a very intuitive process. It's really hard to try to rationalize that.
So one more question. Do you have any other further expectations in the next another 2-3 years? I mean, you have something in online. Like, yes, you're going...
Yeah, I'm working. My only... or all my friends feel that my first film got released in 2007. And till date, I've made 3 films. So they want me to make more films. So I'm trying to do that.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
I have a question. So actually, I'm a big fan of your narrative style. So my name is Bruno. I work for a software company. I'm a big fan of your narrative style. So my question is on NH4 Udayam. The story is like the non-linear narration. So was it conceived that way, or you wrote it and made it non-linear? Because I did an analysis. So the inciting event, or it happens when the police cop comes into picture. Then the cat and mouse happen, chase. So you made it like that. It is continuous throughout the film. So otherwise, if it in a linear way, maybe that happened maybe after 1 hour of the movie, right? So was it conceived that way, or you made it like that?
Okay, I'm very surprised someone would raise the question about Udayam NH4 because that is one film that was supposed to be my first film. We wrote the film in 2002, and there were a lot of those days. That was the time when the DVDs, like the pirated DVDs, started coming into Chennai, and from Chennai it was going to all parts of the country. And we were watching a lot of films where the films were made beyond the conventional good cinema brands. So it was very exciting to explore that aspect of it. Especially, I started writing it out of frustration that I was not getting any films. So I told my friend Mani, who directed the film, we were in a tea shop very late in the night, like around 1:30 in the morning, early morning, we were drinking tea, and I told him, Macha, this is not happening, or we'll do a film. The first scene, hero and heroine elope. Intermission, the villain takes the heroine. Climax, the hero takes her back. That's the story. Then by 4:30 that morning, we had the one line written. And then we started working back and forth. So how we could make it more interesting and all those stuff. But had we made that when we wrote it, I think we wrote it in 2003, not 2003 we wrote it. And if we had made the film in 2003, 4, 5 times, it would have been received well or noticed well. I feel that the film got very less notice, and I'm very surprised that you did an analytical study on that script. There's some consolation for me there. Anyway, so that film was conceived that way because there is no content in it. It is the form that makes the film watchable. It lacks content, and because it lacks content, it didn't have the potential to live up to the style that it had.
So one more question is that actually you have given that story to your friend for direction. Is there any specific reason for it? Because maybe I felt that after you got the national award, maybe the story that coming after the national award director, it might not be.
No, it's not about national award or not national award. As I mentioned just now, on a personal level, I thought that I had moved on beyond that film, because when you finish your first script, you stop living your normal life. You start looking at every event of your life a part of a script or something to inspire to write a script on, and when you make your first film, you become a different person. Then second film. So that way, I thought that we had outgrown. I had outgrown Udayam. It was originally Desi Nedanjalai. We had outgrown that. I had personally outgrown it. And then also the expectation of the mainstream viewer might not match with the kind of film that I would be making after Adikalam. That was the reason.
Sir, Shyam. My name is Shyam. I would like to ask you how you refined yourself from Polladavan to Adagalam to Visaranai. And that's my first question. And second thing, like, it's very difficult to adopt a novel for a movie. How it is difficult, and how far you have gone through all this difficulty to come over, like, to do this. And tell us something about.
I think I'll answer these two first. See, the first point is Polladavan, as with Udayam NH4, it's a desperation of an assistant director. I somehow wanted to make a film, and then I got a good inspiration from a friend of mine who lost his bike and who went in search of that bike, and he was sharing information about the incidents. So he and I worked with the director Kadir. So he lost the bike at that time, and then he was telling me, he lives in North Madras. So he was telling me how he went and how he met those people, and then that was an inspiration for me. From there, we made that film. Adikalam, like it was this. Okay, let me put it this way: to make one Visaranai, I had to do two films, like one Polladavan and one Adikalam was needed. And then maybe to make another Visaranai, I will need two more films like that. And as a filmmaker, as you grow, we become sensible and responsible, and we just want to voice our opinions. And when in the process of voicing your opinion, if you could get it unadulterated or in a very concentrated way without any dilution, and we are happy. Now, it doesn't happen every time. And then films are not a medium for putting in social reforms, but it's a medium to incite people into thinking and then to reforming themselves and the system around them. So it's a way of making us think. So that happened because we, like, as a group of friends, we are always concerned about what's happening around us and how to improve ourselves as people and filmmakers. That is what has led us there. And then when you want to make a film out of a literary work, a translation from one medium to another. It could be a poem, it could be a painting, anything. Anything could inspire you to write a script. The challenge of making a novel into a film is, in the novel, the reader is more of a co-creator. In the film, the co-creation of the viewer is lesser. So the finer points of a novel gets lost when you make it into a film. So the best thing to do is don't. Most of the times, what happens is when you try to handle a classic, a masterpiece novel, and if you want to make it into a film, most of the times it fails to become a masterpiece as a film, because the quality it had attained to become a masterpiece as a novel, in the novel form, will have to be reduced or deducted when you want to make it into a film. And then the classic qualities and the best parts of a film will have to be reinvented through the content. So when you're making a script out of a novel, you just have to take the essence, the plot points, or the basic emotion that struck you, that wanted you to write based on that book. That's more important. And when I started working on Lockup, that's what we did. We just took the essence out of it. And by the way, whatever that he had written in the book, in terms of the police brutality, I'd used only like less than 20% I've used in the film. So he was so descriptive, and he had gone into so much of detail how it physically and emotionally and psychologically it disturbs a person. I was not able to do it in films that much. So that was the limitation of the films, and this itself is unbearable for us. So we need to have that understanding of how to deal with it.
And about your next movie, it is Vada Chennai, right? Can you...
That's a bad question to ask. Sorry.
Like...
No, let's not talk about it. What is it going to add?
Then how is your collaboration with Dhanush?
That's again a bad question. No, let's talk about films, then I will answer this.
Okay. Thank you.
The last things I will answer.
Hi, sir. I just want to know, what is the defining line between an art film and a commercially viable film? And when you have a concept with you, you start with a concept, right? So when you have the concept with you, and would you look at it from the film point of view, as in, conveying a very good message, or whichever you want to say, or the commercial viability, which takes prominence over, and how do you have you compromised? Because you are one person who have not compromised on your work, and you're known for originality, bringing out the real ethnicity of the place. So how, what would be your designing principle?
Okay, the two things that needs to be understood in this thing. The first thing here is, every filmmaker needs an investor to make the next film. So to make the next film, to get an investor for the next film, you need to get back the money of the investor for this film. So that's the basic thing. And then the term commercial is a very ambiguous term, because what is commercial? If you put 10 rupees and take 10 rupees, you're breaking even. You take 15 rupees, then it's a very commercially successful project. So when you like maybe like if you had meant the masala films or a committed film, then I would have something to say. But I always believe any film that can get back the money to the investor is a commercially viable film. And most of the times it is commercially viable when you have an understanding of the market in which you're going to make the film and the content that you're planning to deal with. For a film like Visaranai, most of us didn't take any pay to start with. All of us, like Dinesh, Kishore, GV, and I didn't get paid. So none of us took pay when we wanted to make the film. And Dhanush said that he only wants the money that he's invested back. He was not looking for any profits whatsoever. So that was the kind of thing that needed to make a film like Visaranai. If we had taken the salaries before we started the film, then we would have been over budget. So there is a limitation for every film. The viewership for every film is dependent on the kind of content that it deals with. Visaranai is not a film that is meant for everybody. Even if they are adult viewers, so many people will not be able to handle a film like that. So there is a limitation for it. Whereas Kaka Mutai is a film which is meant for everybody. So that everybody can watch. So this understanding should be there when you choose a film. And then when you're choosing a film, when you want to write a film, it should have something that makes you feel that, okay, I am going to give my life to this this, to this film for the next 2 years or 3 years. I want to live with this because it is going. This film has something to tell the world, and I can learn something out of this film. So if you have these things to your script, then you can invest 2 years or 3 years of your life on it. And if it's not being made as a film also, it's not a problem. You are going to learn something about life from that experience. That's your intuition. So you just have to rely. My mentor Balamendra he used to say, if a film needs to be made, it will use you as a medium to get itself made in the right way. If it doesn't want to be made, it will use you as a medium to fuck itself. It will ruin itself using you to make all the wrong decisions. So I always believe in that. And most of the times it is, I've felt that way. So there would be a script that we are very excited about. We start working on it. 10 days later, you get a bad signal like, something will not happen. This will go wrong. Then you decide, okay, I will keep this aside and then start doing something else. So that intuition is the writer's gift or curse, whatever it is.
I'm Fadnis from Nasik, Maharashtra. My question is about Visarne. Unfortunately, I was not able to see the film yet. Probably I will see this here in this festival. Because it was not part of Mami or Pune or Goa.
No, it was in all the festivals.
No.
Yeah, it was. It was in Mami last year. It was in Goa this year. It was in Goa this year.
Okay.
It was in Pune, I don't think it was there.
My question is about, the film was about the role of the state, about the police brutality. But the political part of it was, was it deliberately kept subtle, or like the film like Sairat, where it deals with the social issue, but the political part was kept subtle. So was it deliberate?
No, I think you need to watch the film to understand this, because it is, I think the answer is there in the film, because everything is handled, but the film is written in such a way that whatever that happens in the film is just the reaction for what happens outside the film. So that's how we had written it. What you see within the film is the repercussions of what happens outside the off screen. On screen is only the repercussions of what happens off screen. So you will understand it. Yes,
sir. Very good afternoon.
There was one question.
Very good afternoon. We have our director Rajan Singh Babu who had made a film called Anta years back. It's a similar police and a criminal was there in that context, and we see a very tough scene, how they are treated and all that. There are two things, sir. Vanakkam, Bangalore, welcome. The question is, how did you resilient yourself and your team to come out of this emotional trauma? Even if it were to be acting, it would have affected the personality, you as a person, and the actors as well, and people who are on it. How did you prepare before even you started? Because that's where it is very important, I believe. That's one. Number two, I've been closely observing that you are going from bridging between the novels and the cinema. That's the thing you're trying to do. Now, how do you prepare in terms of, in terms of pre-production? Like, how do you go? You got a concept, then how do you go take it from there? I don't believe in the concept like you tell, it happened intuition. I don't know. I don't know intuition, Baba. Please talk to me in simple language. So talk to me in my arithmetic where I understand. How do you travel the journey from concept to, how did you get to either Adakalam or Visarne? Two different concepts. How did you carry yourself? Thank you and good afternoon.
I really don't know how I did that. That's why I'm saying it's intuition.
No. Get down to basics.
So, as you mentioned, it was very traumatizing for everybody involved in the film, especially the actors. All my actors have immense trust in me. They didn't ask what the story is about. Dinesh, I called him and said, okay, see, I'm doing a film and you're going to play the lead. It's going to be physically very challenging and traumatizing. I'm going to shoot the film in order. It's about 4 boys. What happens? I said, sir, no, sir, because you're shooting chronologically, I will understand the film as it progresses. I don't want to know what's going to happen. So every scene they acted, they didn't know what was coming. You want to add something to this same question?
No, sir.
Then
Sir,
let me finish
definitely.
this. So they were very open. They didn't know what was going to happen. And then the actors who were acting like cops, I just gave them the lathis the first day, though it was dummies. So I asked them, like, I told my actors, see, they're going to beat you. I don't know how they're going to beat you. You will have to just try to defend yourself, if that is possible. Then the actors were not comfortable, like, the guys who were playing cops, because they were playing small parts. And then here it's like the hero and others. They have to beat them. They had so much of issues in doing it. But then the 5th day and the 6th day, we had to intervene to control them and stop them. And people, like, they were very scared to even go inside the police station. It became so traumatizing, so disturbing. Especially there's one scene where that cop, Ajay Ghosh, like the bald cop beats him with the palm thatch. Like, after every shot, Ajay Ghosh was crying, and he was hugging Dinesh and crying. And they were so angry at me for writing a scene like that and making them undergo it. After the shoot was over, we all of us had to go for, like, meditation and breathing exercise and retreat to get ourselves out of it. Dinesh had, like, trauma. He was having nightmares even after, like, 9 months after the shoot was over. He used to wake up, like, he used to call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, "Sir, I just woke up of a nightmare and I still feel getting beat up." And every day he was undergoing that pain. Every shot he used to think, it seems, fuck, this is the last time I'm here. As soon as this shot is over, I'm going to run away. I'm not going to be in this film anymore. Why should I undergo this pain? Then in the break, he would sit and he'll see Chandrakumar, who's undergone this. And he used to think, it seems, okay, I am doing this and I'm relaxing in between shots. And there are people like Chandrakumar who are undergoing this without any break. And I have got an opportunity to be the face of those millions of faceless people. And now I have to put up with this. He'll say, "Sir, I'm ready." So that's how all of us worked on the film. We really felt responsible in bringing this out. And I will try to answer your last question before I leave. Yeah, you had something to say.
My name is Suresh Kumar. How do you define a good film and two of your most admired directors, other than the one which you told, Balu sir? A good movie. What's a good movie?
Yeah, both are very tricky questions. For me, a good film is a film that connects me to the character and which brings out something that I can relate to, and in a world where it brings out the fineness of a human, the human nature, or the social thing. Say, for instance, when I said the human nature, that immediately the film that came to my mind was Separation. So that's kind of a film that I would really say is a good one. So directors, I have a lot of people. My inspiration as such is like Akira Kurosawa, and then of contemporary filmmakers, I like Alejandro Gonzalez, Inarritu I like, and then Nuri Bilji. I'm trying to understand his films. I'm liking him, and there are a few others. And more than particular directors, I go with the film. If a film is good, I like it.
சார் வணக்கம், என் பேர் சரத் அருள்மாறன். இங்கே இருக்கிற எல்லாருக்கும் தமிழ் புரியுங்கிற நம்பிக்கையில் தமிழ்லேயே கேட்டுறேன். அதாவது
புரியாது எல்லாருக்கும்.
அப்படிங்களா? இல்லை, நம்பிக்கையில் நீங்கள் இங்கிலீஷோட சொல்லியிருக்க பதில் என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஒரு முதலாவது வாழ்த்துக்கள். ஆனால் போன வருஷம் February 5 தான் இந்த படம் ரிலீஸ் ஆகிருக்குங்கிற ஒரு சின்ன ஞாபகம். ஸோ இது
எனக்கும் ஞாபகம்
இல்லை, February 5 தாங்கிறது எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் ஷூராகவே தெரியும். ஸோ அது வெற்றிகரமாக இது 2வது வருடம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். என்னுடைய கொஸ்டின் என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஒரு வருடத்துக்கு ஒரு 200 படங்கள் எல்லா லாங்குவேஜஸ்லையும் அந்தந்த லாங்குவேஜில் ரிலீஸ் ஆகுது. விசாரணை மாதிரியான படங்களும் ஒரு 5 படம் வருது அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சூழ்நிலை தான் நிலவுது. இது வந்து நிறைய படங்கள் ஒரு 50 படம் 100 படம் இந்த மாதிரியான படங்கள் வெளிவருவதற்கு பார்வையாளர்கள் மற்றும் படைப்பாளிகள் எதை நோக்கி பயணிக்க வேண்டும் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு கொஸ்டின். அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் இது ஒரு இந்த மாதிரியான திரைப்பட விழாக்களில் மட்டுமே இது பேசப்பட்டு இப்போ ஒரு டைரக்டர் கௌரவிக்கிறது இந்த மாதிரியான சடங்குகளாகவே இது முடிந்து விடுமோ அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு பயம் எனக்குள்ளே இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்குது. இது எப்போ மக்களுக்கு போய் சேரவே, இது படைப்புங்கிறது மக்களுக்கு ஆனது அல்லவா? ஸோ இது எப்போ மக்களுக்காக போய் சேரக்கூடிய நாள் எது, அதுக்கு நாம் எந்த மாதிரியான உழைப்பை நோக்கி பயணிக்க வேணுங்கிறது என்னுடைய கொஸ்டின். தேங்க்யூ.
Yeah.
This question was that films like Visarni are made, and it's made for the public. And when is the time then these sort of films would be reaching the public? That's the question he's asking.
Yeah, and he's also saying that every year 200 plus films are being made in every language, but 4 or 5 films are only made in this. Right? Okay. Yeah. So my answer to him is, unuk English la pesna puriyuma? Okay. So my answer to this is, if a film is made in 2 crores and 75 lakhs and it makes around 10.5 crores, does that mean that people have not watched that film? It means people have watched the film. A lot of people watch that film, and I feel that when 200 films are being made, only 5 to 10 films like Visarne can be made. You can't make 50 films or 80 films of like Visarne. And it's a film industry is like, the films that are being made as like people as such. You have to have different kind of films to cater to everybody. And it's not always possible to have one type of film in one industry. Maybe these things will increase when the market strategy changes. So the market strategy right now is to cater to international viewers. When I mean international, it is like you're making films also having mind in non-native speakers. Say for instance, when you're making a Tamil film, you also have in mind, back of the mind, okay, Andhra Telugu dubbing rights and Karnataka release. You have overseas viewers. So when you have all these things in mind, you just start making strategies in order to cater to everybody's, and you get out of your ethnic identity. The losing of the ethnic identity becomes a prevalent trend in order to make money or make a more successful film. These successful films deal with certain primal archetypal structures and basic emotions. Apart from that, which those emotions can connect universally. Apart from that, there wouldn't be any cultural identity or truth in it, in terms of the cultural rooting. So, and these films end up making a lot of money. So when this changes and when you start making films for your world, then that is possible.
Hello, sir. My question is, what's your opinion about originality in filmmaking, and any tips for new filmmakers like me? I'm sorry.
I'm expecting tips from others to make films. Anyway, I feel originality of content, originality of style, originality of your vision as a filmmaker is essential to make films. And you can be inspired to make your films, but knowing the source of your inspiration is also important to be original. If you sometimes see, this happened to me when I was shooting Polladavan. I didn't know this, I didn't realize this, and 2 years after the release of Polladavan, one fine morning I called my friend and said, Macha, the opening sequence of Polladavan was directly lifted from Stanley Kubrick's Lolita's opening scene. It was it. there's a very similar kind of voiceover it starts with, like where this guy's in the car goes and he says like, I've lived my life like this, but none of these would have happened if I had not met my Lolita. That's how it starts. So I didn't realize it when I was doing it. So that is wrong. You should know your source of inspiration so that you can give the credits to the original creator and then go ahead. See, I don't believe, I don't say that remaking a film is wrong, but then giving the due credits is very important for the original filmmaker. Or the source, wherever you are inspired from, you need to know and you need to tell the world that you're getting inspired. That is part of your originality, I feel.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. This is Sagar. Congratulations, sir. You're doing well. Do you have any movies for Karnataka and Kannadiga, sir?
See, every language has its own talent, abundance of talent, and they have much to contribute to their own land and world. I do intend to make films in languages, but then without knowing a language, making a film is like getting your hands tied and jumping into the sea to swim. So it's like that. So I would master the language and then make a film.
Hello, myself Jay Prasad. I just read somewhere in the blog that when you're working for Polladavan, the comedy part, when you're telling to your producer, they have rejected it, seems, right? In the initial stages. The later, what I compared the comedy part of Polladavan and the Adugulam. My notice was Adugulam comedy was in between the script. It was very blended with the script, and when it comes to Polladavan, I felt something it was not up to the not within the script, sir. What do you say about that, and how you worked the comedy part for the both films, and what is the importance of comedy in the films?
There is no importance for comedy in the film. When you're doing a film which is making you feel that the comedy is not gelling in, then you're not it is immaterial to have comedy in the film. That's all. It should have been edited out. That's all. It is. See, there is a different. Like when you're making satirical films, when you're making films purely for making people to laugh, that's different. But when you're making a film which is serious, or when you're trying to get closer to life and having this so-called comedy or comedy track is bothersome. If you can have it within the film, that's fine, but I can't write good comedy. That's my problem. So there are exceptional writers who can make you laugh and cry and through the process of a film. So when they do it, it looks right.
Tell me particularly about Adukulam comedy, but again, the Dhanush mannerism itself tells it makes people laugh, right? In some part of the movie, like when he turns away, when he wears goggles, right? What do you say? Just tell me about that, particularly about that.
Okay, I didn't know that Adukulam had comedy. So see, it's about the way those people live and the way those people talk. That's what we tried to capture, and if that had made that had created some funny situations, then we are happy. That's it. We didn't pay any specific attention to make a comedy sequence or scene.
Sir, take cinema film as a media. So there are content and form. So many filmmakers they take good content. So all over the world are maybe commercial or art film. When they come to form, telling the story non-linear way, it's very less. Experimentally, they didn't do much. So why is that? If we talk literature, so every writer they have their own style, structure or form. in films that all films are linear. So that's my first question. And second one, you said many times film is business. You should get money to make another. And many critics said film is a art. No. So one of the director, he said film is dream. Film is a dream. It means not to make a film. That's not kind of dream. Film itself a dream. So could you tell about that comment?
No, you have to tell about that because I've told what I have to say. So the first question is, see, a content and form, I feel are inseparable. See, they both are one and the same. A content determines the form, and sometimes form influences the content. So it's both goes hand in hand. And also, as in literature, form has been explored abundantly in films, and we have gotten very tired of non-linear narration. I'm very surprised when you say that there are no non-linear narrations here. Everybody starts with a flashback only, nobody's ready to tell a straight story. We have it back and forth only. Everybody have done that here also. See, there are two reasons, and also I don't know which literature you're talking about. Please sit down. Please sit down.
I am from Hyderabad.
Yeah. So even the Indian languages have very less explored very less in terms of form. Literature also is very less. See, the Latin American filmmakers are able to do that because their source is Spanish literature. Spanish literature has dealt so much in terms of form, way ahead of English literature or any other European languages literature, as much as I've known. But Spanish literature has dealt so much with form. And the influence of those script writers come from Spanish literature. And so they have these multiple storylines, and then doing a story which has got so much of insight just by the form. Through the form, they narrate a story. And we do have a lot of references of that. Here, again, we can't do that kind of a thing because they have different ways of getting back the money, not just the theatrical. And the common viewer who comes into the screen, into the theaters, want a basic story. What is the basic story? Okay, you tell one guy is at the age of 90, he's sitting in his room. Then the next scene you show another guy who's in 30 years old doing something, and then next scene you see a child is being born. Finally, you say that all these are one guy. Then finally, when I watch the film, I say, okay, you have told about one man's birth and death. Why did you complicate it so much? You could have told it straight. So form should not be used for the sake of form.
Yes.
And form should complement the content. If it can't complement the content, then the form will not be used. See, the content will decide the form. I think that's the best way to approach content and form.
Sir, one last question.
ಸಾರಿ ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಬಾಬು ಅವ್ರು ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ. ಒಂದು, ನಿಮಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನು. ಎರಡು, ಯುವರ್ ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆನ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸರ್. ಇವಾಗ ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸರ್. ಅದು ಮೂರನೇ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ ಬಾಬು. ಅದು ಮೂರನೇ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟು ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಮಣಿರತ್ನಂ ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಯಶಸ್ವಿ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರು. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವಿ ಅವ್ರು ತೆಗೆದ್ರು. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಾಗ ಏನು ಭಾಷೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಿಡಿತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬಟ್ ಪಲ್ಲವಿ ಅನುಪಲ್ಲವಿ ಈವನ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕ್, ಕಲ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಬಾಬು ಅವ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್.
See, the first thing is, my mentor Balu Mahendra did his first film here, Kokila. So, he told me, I asked him, why did you want to do a Kannada film as your first film? He said, those days, Kannada industry was the best industry have a film like mine. I thought that I could do the films there, he said, which was true. He was saying Kadu was such a great film. No, I was so inspired and I wanted to do a film there. So, Kannada film, I remember Kokila. I really like that film. I really like that film. And see, some people are skilled in doing certain things, and some people are skilled in doing other things. So that way, and for Mani sir, Balamendra sir was the cameraman for Pallavi Anupallavi also. So both of them can work in any language without the hang of the language. They can do that, but I can't do that. That's it. Okay. That's a tricky question. Censorship is like a personal responsibility that is given to someone else.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಮಾರನ್ ಸರ್. ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಕನ್ನಡ
நீங்க கேக்குறது எனக்கு புரியுது
சார்.
சொல்லுங்க.
ஓகே. இன்னா சார் வயிற்றுக்கு சினிமா சாப்பாடு சாப்பிட்றீங்க சார். இந்த பக்கம் விசாரணை நேஷனல் லெவலில் போகுது, ஆடக்குளம் நேஷனல் லெவலில் போகுது. ஏதாவது இன்னா சாப்பிட்றீங்கன்னு எங்களுக்கும் சொன்ன யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ்க்கு நாங்களும் கொஞ்சம் அந்த சினிமா சாப்பாடு சாப்பிட்டு அந்த லெவலில் கொஞ்சம் ட்ரை பண்ணுவோம் சார்.
இட்ஸ் ஓகே. இது தமிழ் தானே பேசினாரு. Yeah, okay. So, it's a very embarrassing question because I see, the only thing that I do is I don't push myself to make films. I work when I really am compelled by my film to work. Everybody tell me like, என்னடா உட்கார்ந்துட்டே இருக்கிற, ஏதாவது வேலை செய்யடா. I'll be sitting and after I finish my shoot, I will edit my film for like 9 months, 10 months, 1 year, 1.5 years. I'll edit, re-edit, and then again I will edit. I will dub the film and then see the whole film, then shoot for 3 more days. Then again come, again edit, again dub, again see. Then I will send it for background score, like RR will be done. Then I will come up with an idea. I'll go talk to my producer. My producer will know that I've come up with a better idea, but then he can't say that, no, you shouldn't do it because he knows that it's a good thing. So, okay sir, ponanga. So he'll say, it's like, I don't push myself. That's the only thing. And that is not good for everybody. I just sit at home and I have a producer who will not question me, Dhanush. He'll say, sir, how much you want? This is this much. Okay, sir, you'll get it. Dhanush, the stories, please don't tell me the story. If I like the story, then I will want to act in it. So you do the story. Tell me when you want to show the film. I will see the film. So I have an actor and a producer who has immense trust in me, which has really put me in a very safe position to be myself as a filmmaker. அதுதான் எனக்கு இருக்கிற ஒரே இது. And I feel that everything has fallen in place for me to make a film like Visaranai or Adikalam. That's it. I will try to say. I'll take this last question and try to say that.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Myself, Sujit. So, what my question is, 90% of Indian films, they do release with songs. And Visaranai is a movie which was released without a song. And songs are sometimes quite irritating, when you're watching a movie. And I just want to know if Vetrimaaran can make a movie without songs after this. And I want you to be honest. Do you like having songs in your movies?
Okay. See, when it comes to songs, the Western interpretation of art form and song is different from the Indian view of songs. We, as collectively as Indians or individually as ethnic groups, Tamils, Kannadigas, Telugus, Malayalis, or any Sanskrit in the sense, I generalize the whole of North Indian languages. We have lived on songs. We have made everything through songs. Our science was in songs. Our philosophy was in songs. Our literature was in songs. Everything was written in songs. All the, astrology was song. astronomy was song. So everything is song. So an Indian mind is inseparable from songs. And while having a song in a film, song is one of the most, as of now, is the most underrated creative tools in films. Because when you're having a song, like we normally say in one song, 20 years is gone. Yeah. So song can capsule time. At the same time, songs can expand time. There's this Tamil film Kaka Kaka. Surya is shot and he falls into the water. They show a clock which says like some time and 53 seconds. We go to a song. The song is completed. Now from 53 it goes to 54. So that 1 second we have lived 5 minutes, because a poet's poetic license is given to the songwriter and the way the song is picturized. So if this can only happen with the Indian mind, only an Indian mind, or where songs are integral part of the culture. So having a song rightly placed, you can say so much of emotions and so much of structure. You can just break so much of barriers in narrating a story through a song. And I personally feel songs are a unique identity of Indian cinema. Sometimes it becomes boring for us because that filmmaker doesn't know how to use song as a narrative tool. Songs are most of the time being used as a tool of escapism. But song is a very, very, very intense creative tool, which I don't know to use. That's why I didn't use a song in Visarane. Yeah, that'll be the last. That'll be the last. Yeah.
Or movies can be a small part of your life and still. Hello. My question is, according to you, should film directors breathe cinema, or movies can be a small part of your life and you can still be a great director?
Small part in the sense like doing some other business and
No, it's not.
doing your.
You think about, whether in terms of thinking process or everything, or how you lead your life. You think everything in terms of cinema, or you look for inspiration in whatever you see. That is what I mean. You breathe cinema. It's not just about watching cinemas, or you can lead life however you want, and still you can be a great director.
So the point is, being a filmmaker is a habit. You can't change it. Like once you start writing scripts, you'll only look at events like scripts. At home, when I'm having a difference of opinion with my wife, like she'll start like shouting, and halfway through she'll stop. She'll say, no, I'll not say anything. You'll then keep it in, make it into a scene. Even before she could realize that, I would have made it into a scene. So that's how we all are conditioned. We are practiced to do these things repeatedly. So being a filmmaker is habit and a lifestyle. You can't change that. Maybe you can have something else to do, but that will not stop you from always being a filmmaker.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Sir, last question.
Yeah. Yes.
It's the last question.
Yeah.
Just briefly, you can say.
It should be a last question only.
Script is a film, starting with the end in the mind. Script is supposed to be defining your film, what is going to be on the screen. So that's why we write screenplay and all that. So what I have learned from you is another approach to filmmaking, wherein you have made up your mind, you have perhaps written your script, and then what is that inspires you to go back and make a change or drastic changes? That's one question. Another is, which is the for you? I know you're a literature student. So which is the best unique selling genre in the Indian filmmaking? Because I feel many of the films you have done or tragic, end. So like many of the good ending films are not really making that big love. Okay.
See, So, what was your first question? Okay. Okay. See, script writing is a personal experience. Everybody can write it whichever way, but what I told is a wrong way of approaching it. Say, I told I didn't write the script and I went and shot the film because as I mentioned, I had a producer who will not question me. But that's one of the bad examples to follow. It's like saying that, oh, that guy is living at the age of 90, still he drinks and smokes, so I can also do that. Now, drinking and smoking is bad, but still somehow that guy had survived. Not everybody will survive. So that's the thing. And my journey part, it's really hard to explain. When I first get an idea, when I feel that, okay, I'm going to make a film out of this, that decision comes to me with the content that I feel that will help me grow as a person more than anything else, as a person. And that content should give me insights into life for the next 2 or 3 years, because I write a script for 1.5 years, and then I go shoot it and edit it and live with it for 1.5 years. And then after the release of the film, I at least spend 6 to 8 months with that same film by editing and re-editing and doing so many other corrections even after the release. I can't give up on my film so easily. So if my content has to have so much to give me, or else I will not be able to do it. That's the first thing that I look at. I look in a film. So once that is there, and then I start writing it. I start pitching it with my friends, and then I sit and write. Then I pitch the idea to my friends, and I don't complete an idea. I don't complete a script. I keep it very open, and I start writing it, and then halfway through I meet actors and talk to them, and then go see the location. Once I see the location, then I start rewriting and reassessing. I go with my cameraman, and then I will have a shot in my mind, a lengthy shot in my mind. I will not be able to shoot it in the location that I went and go finalize. Then we will have to reassess it. We rework on it with my cinematographer and then with my composer. So all these things happen, and while writing the script, I most of the times I have certain references of for maybe for lighting pattern. Visarana is one film that I didn't have any reference point whatsoever. So I called my cinematographer. It was shot by Ramalingam, my Velraj, my cameraman Velraj assistant. So I called him and told, see, this is the kind of lighting that I want. The first half I want it to be lit this way. The first half of the film is lit in a very harsh way, like where there is a distinct differentiation between the dark and the light. So the black and white is there in perfect difference. But then the second half is like more of a, the lighting is so filled and perfect. There is no, you don't see much the darker shades. It's all gray. You don't know who is good and who is bad. It's all mixed up, muddled up. So that we wanted to bring in through the second half, the lighting of the second half. That was what we were trying to do with the second half. So these are things that I decided, and then we went there. Then when the shots come into play, I just go to the sets and make my actors, like I tell them what to do where. Then I call my cameraman and then say, see, this is what they are doing. Let us capture it this way. There it comes. So I try to make the scene as uninterrupted as possible, with cuts or without cuts. Even the cuts has to be unobtrusive. So I try to make it that way. And in Visarana, especially in Visarana, there were so many scenes where I was not able to find a cutting point. So I told, okay, let us do it as a single shot. Where there were a lot of long shots in the film, like 2 minutes, 3 minute shots we tried to have in the film because I was not able to find a cutting point. And once I'm shooting once the shot is being shot, I know if it's working or not. That again is intuition. So I know if it's working or not, if the actor is able to hold it or not hold it. Then if that is not happening for me, that magic is not happening for me, then I know I have to reassess it, then re-understand the scene from a different perspective. Then I change perspective. So that's how it works for me. Finally, when I edit, I try to figure out if this is the scene that I really wanted to make. With me, what happens is, like, I write a film while shooting the film, I lose the film. I lose the film that I've written on paper because in the name of improvisation, I do so many crazy things that finally everybody would forget why we wanted to have the scene. Then in the edit, I try to rediscover the film that I wanted to make. But ultimately, it will be a different film from where I started. But I try to stick on to the basic emotion of the film that which inspired me to start making and working on the film. That's how I work. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Vetrimaaran, coming over here and thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. All the media people, please come to screen 2 at the Gold Class for the press conference to meet the directors. Please do come.
Hello, all the media persons may please move to screen 2. There is a press conference with the directors of the movies which was screened yesterday.